Hello, in this video I'm going to introduce you to the basic notions of material requirements planning, or MRP. Any manufacturing process requires inventory in order to schedule the production line or the assembly line of the products. So MRP is exactly a system that deals with production scheduling and inventory control. It tries to ensure the availability of materials, components, and products for plant production and customer delivery. And the main objective is to maintain inventory at the lowest possible level and ensure that materials are available for the production scheduling. So the goal is to maintain adequate levels of inventory, so required materials are available whenever they are needed. It is actually a computer-based system, but for some small-scale manufacturing processes, it could be based on a traditional paper-based approach. So actually, it uses backwards scheduling, beginning from the final products that are required to be delivered, and schedules into a time-phased net requirements all the sub-assemblies, assemblies, and parts in order to schedule them for ordering appropriately. We have to distinguish between two types of demand. The first one is the independent, that is the demand for the finished products. It does not depend on the demand of other products that might be produced, and this need to be forecasted. Dependent demand, on the other side, is demand that is derived from finished products. So, for example, if we know that we have to produce 1,000 items of a specific product, then the dependent demand is the demand that the requirement for the components in order to produce that batch of finished products. So dependent demand is the one that is managed by the MRP system. So as we said before, the MRP objective is to ensure that the manufacturing department has the correct amount of materials on hand at the time it is needed. In order to do that, we need to identify what we need to order, how much we have to order, when to place the orders, and when to schedule the delivery. So all those quantities need to be determined, and this is a job of the MRP system. In order to perform those calculations, the MRP is using three inputs: the authorized master production schedule, or else MPS, the bill of materials, and inventory records. In a few words, the master production schedule is what is authorized, and in terms of what products, what end items we need to produce, when, and at what quantities. In order to provide this schedule, we need to consider the cumulative lead time, which is the sum of the lead times at sequential phases of the process required, from ordering of the parts of raw materials to the completion of final assembly. So we have to consider the time that is being added in every phase in the production. So the master production schedule is the first contribution to the first input to our MRP. The second one is the bill of materials, which is a simple list of all raw materials that we need in order to produce one unit of our product. It might be a table, a simple table, or we can use a product structure tree as you can see here. In this example, we can see that we have split our top item, which it is depicted by level 0, which denotes the final product, into several levels. Each level denotes the parts that requires and the number of the parts that are being required. For example, if we were supposed to assemble a chair, we can split it into several levels. For example, here we can see that we need to assemble the legs and the back. The legs require 2 legs and 1 crossbar, while the back requires 2 side rails and 3 back supports. And we can continue this way until we split all the components into that structure in order to depict, first of all, the requirements, and second, the number of items or sub-items that are required for each level. And the third input for our MRP is the inventory records, which is anything related to our inventory, about requirements, about the receipts that we're waiting for to receive, available amounts, lead times, anything related to each item by time period. For inventory, in order to calculate our requirements, we use some simple formulas. For example, for the available inventory, we need to take out the safety stock and allocated inventory to other items from what we have in our hands, and the net requirements is equal to gross requirements if we subtract the available inventory. This will be clear in the following slide. In order to proceed to finalizing the orders and the planning, the MRP uses some processing, some flow. The first task is to establish the gross requirements, which is what we expect to deliver in some period of time from today. For example, in next week, next month. So we estimate how many units we need to deliver. The second step is to determine the net requirements, which is the actual amount needed in its time period. So we subtract from the gross requirements the scheduled receipts, what we are going to receive, and what we have in our stock already. So the gross requirements, if we take out the scheduled receipts, which is what we're expecting to receive, and of course what we have already in our inventory, this is the net requirements, what we really are needing, what we need to order. So scheduled receipts, as you can see here, is what we expect to arrive, and the plan on hand is what we already have in our stock. So gross requirements and net requirements. Next, we determine the planned order receipts, which is the quantity that we expect to receive at the beginning of its period. So, as we said, we are following a time-phased approach. And of course, we have to account for the offset according to lead time. And then we have to determine the planned order releases, which is the amount to order for its time period. So this procedure is continuously progressing continuously to cover all items, and then to determine their own order releases. So if we aggregate all those the planned order releases over all the end items, we will get the gross requirements at the end. Okay, so whenever we cover all the items, then the process is complete. However, it is a dynamic process because for example, a typical MRP table shows that we need to fill all those boxes for the period that we are going to plan. It might be weeks, it might be days or months, and all the previous items, as we said, the gross requirements, the scheduled receipts, the on-hands, net requirement, order receipt, and purchase order. So this is a dynamic process that we need to follow, and we can either fill some tables on a piece of paper, or we might, of course, use dedicated software for that. So this is the whole idea behind the MRP. So in a few words, we try to achieve orders in order to fulfill our planning period in such a way so as to cover the gross requirements, which means the end products that we need to deliver, and of course considering what we have on our inventory, and given the rate of the orders that we receive, what is the best way to formulate this table so as to avoid, let's say, distracting our delivery plan, our production plan. So in the next video, we will see an example of how we build a typical MRT table with a small example. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.